Hey guys, welcome to this week's Dots and Dashes podcast. I'm Lynn Kingsley.
And I'm Prakasha. Good morning, everyone. How are you, Lynn, today?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. And I believe today we want to talk about ancient civilization. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Whilst I was sorting some stuff out, I came across something that my grandfather brought back from Egypt. He was in the First World War and he brought some artifacts home. He'd got the Sphinx and the pyramids and the obelisks all in brass and snakes made of tiny little colourful beads. And there was a small lady's handbag, I assume made out of camel skin. And they were in my grandmother's glass cabinet. And as a child, I'd just sit there and I used to be fascinated by them. Then later on, as I got older, she used to allow me to help her clean the Sphinx and the pyramids and the obelisks. And I just thought, yes, all these things have all gone and it's all in the past, but the civilization has always been something that has attracted me. I would really like to go out there and see them for real.
Yeah, it is. There were about 5 to 7 ancient civilizations going back 3,000 or 2 years ago. And to me, my mind, Egyptian one is the first one that comes to mind. And the story I know about Egyptian civilizations is the story of Tutankhamun's tomb and the story of Earl of Carnarvon, George Herbert, and the curse of Tutankhamun. And I don't know how true the curse is, but people have died after bringing artifacts from Egypt, especially Earl of Carnarvon. And I don't know how true the superstition is, but it's still alive today, the superstition in people's mind. But going back,
Yeah.
there are other civilizations which are a lot older than Egyptian. To my mind comes the Indus civilization. They started about 3300 BC, and Hinduism became the first religion virtually at that time. And that's very interesting. There are other civilizations, the Maya, the Aztec, the Chinese one, the Mesopotamian one, and later on the Roman one. And it makes you wonder how they came into being. Do you know?
It certainly does, yes. And particularly with the pyramids and everything, how on earth were they built? Without any heavy lifting equipment and that sort of thing. And where they cut the edges, how on earth you can't do it with a chisel. I mean, you just wouldn't get them that square. It's absolutely amazing how that was done. Was it really done by them? I don't know.
You don't know. You don't know whether it was how they brought all those big stones. Also in the Aztec in Mexico and Peru, you get this the pyramids which are regarded as temples. I think at that time, especially which is the one, the Machu Picchu in Peru, which is one of the big
Yes.
ones. Would love to go there and see
Yeah,
them.
me too.
It's really amazing. It must have needed a lot of manpower, tens of thousands of people to bring those stones to these places. And also, how many people actually would have died, possibly, from this carrying all these stones? Also, mechanism they use. I think I watched a documentary once where they actually recreated how they were pulling stones with ropes and everything. Do you,
That's right. Yes.
yeah, and it's interesting, and it makes you wonder whether some sort of alien beings were around at that time. Because if you look at some of the images that they portrayed in the temples and things like that, they look like alien beings. You know,
They do.
our images. So it's really, really fascinating. I think.
Yes, me too. I would love to delve into that more.
I mean, I read an article a couple of weeks ago about there was one more civilization about 5,000 years BC. They discovered in UAE and around Saudi Arabia. Don't know how true it is because I haven't really read much about it. But if, I mean, when the first human being came into being, the Homo sapiens in Africa, the Neanderthal man, and how they evolved and they created all these civilizations starting around 5 to 3,000 years before Christ, sort of thing. Yeah,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it's interesting to talk about ancient civilization and religion, especially at Easter weekend.
Yes.
You know,
That's true.
no boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that on the topic of ancient civilizations, I think I would like to delve in a lot more and find out how they were created. And also at the same time, if you look at it, the religions formed, didn't they? A lot of the religions
Yes.
started, especially in China, Hinduism, then obviously Christianity, Islam. They all are around the same time as this ancient civilization were developing. The religions came into force. I wonder what made
Yes.
people think of all the religions. Was there something that happened in the world that people thought needed to follow? That's another question. There's another question that comes to mind. There's no answer, is there?
No. 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 I've no idea how that came about.
So,
But I mean, really and truly, I'm not religious at all. But I can appreciate other people are. Some they used to have what they called soothsayers, didn't they?
yeah.
And so if something happened, he would take that story to the next place where he was walking to, and so on and so forth. And so the stories, and they obviously grew. It's a little bit like Chinese whispers, isn't it? A little bit gets added on all the
Yes.
time. You know, I remember my father saying something about they started off saying send up reinforcements, we're going to advance. And by the time it got down the line, it ended up sent us 3 and 4pence, we're going to a dance. And I always find that rather funny, but it's exactly what happens that, you know, things do get built on. And I just think the Bible is really just a load of stories that have gone on and that they've picked up on as the soothsayers
Yeah.
have carried around, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what the way I feel. But yeah, interesting that you said something about influence from other planets, and I don't know why some people just think that we are the only planet that has got life, because we're clearly not.
No, yeah, I
If
agree
there's
with
life
you.
on this planet, there's going to be life on other planets.
There was something on the news a couple of days ago about a planet in the distant universe. They found sort of signs of microorganisms. There must be other life elsewhere, but I don't think we'll find out in our lifetime anyway.
No, I don't think they'll find it in mine either, but
Anyway, on that
it's
note,
interesting.
I think this is a very lengthy topic and there's a lot more to talk about. Maybe we should go into it further, find out one civilization and talk about that next time and see how that created. Maybe a future topic. Yes?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, when we went to the States, we went to Nevada and places and went all the way around. I find it absolutely fascinating. All the little places. We've got some fantastic shots. If you look up at the mountainside and you can't see a thing, but if you get up further, we did, and looked across the valley, we took the film of all the tiny places where they lived, and they're all in the rocks, and it's really fascinating. I think it was we saw several different tribes, but I think it was the Pika Indians where we
Also
took the shots.
interesting.
Yeah, and they were so tiny, some of them. We walked around and found one, and Peter couldn't get into it at all. He was far too big.
Okay.
But I got in, but it was a struggle. And and I was thinking, I got in, but can I turn around to get out again? So,
I couldn't
but I
do it
did.
because I would find difficult. I'm a bit claustrophobic like that, so any tiny places I feel tricky.
Yes, I'm a little bit like that, but I just had to go and have a look.
Of
I'm
course,
inquisitive as well.
everybody would. Good. On that nice note, shall we call it a day?
Yes, of course.
Anyway, so it's bye from me for now.
And it's bye from me too. See you again next week.
Until next time. Bye.
Bye.